Definitely spoilers in here. Turn away now if you want to know nothing, or stay if you want to make fun of me. Words fail me constantly in life. So here we go. The Last of Us Part 2 is a long ride that I personally enjoyed overall. And while I don't think it went on for too long, there were at least 2 times I thought the game was about to be over. The end of the first half.
Just let him go. You killed my friends. We let you both live. And you wasted it.
And the end of the second half. It then kept going, and I eventually finished it and have just been thinking about it. It set in my mind like an arrow through the head. This isn't about to be super deep or anything.
Eat it, shrimps!
That's not me. It's hard to be deep and concise, and I'm only good at being concise. If you need a yes or no answer, I'll give you a Y or an N. To me, this is a tale of consequences and constant bad choices. As Ellie, we see Abby take Joel from us in the most visceral way with no real reason why. She has an idea as to why, but we as the player don't know that yet. Now, while I do like the story overall, I had a thought after I finished playing the game. What if Abby said even the smallest thing alluding to why she did it? Something like, "A dad for a dad. Fair trade, I say." Although, even after saying something like that, Ellie still would have come after her, but a little context wouldn't hurt anyone. Also, Joel didn't explain anything to those fireflies we, as him, mowed through to get Ellie out. Except maybe Marlene, and she got a bullet in the head. And while Abby didn't owe Ellie any answers,
You're gonna fucking die!
what did she think was going to happen? Also, I know Dina does bring up the idea that they were just after Joel, which they were, but by that point, already in Seattle, the revenge must continue. And Ellie commits hard. It's hard to watch at points as we, as her, do this. There are times I want to tell her, just go home. But I understand why she thinks she needs to do this, even though she learns of a major reason to turn back. Early in the game, you play a small segment as Abby before the whole golf club thing. And at first I was like, why would you do that to me? I was in a bit of a shock because after that, it's Ellie for the next few hours pondering when and where the payback will be. Then, what I know now is the halfway point of the game, the switch happens.
Abby.
Now we're Abby, 3 days earlier and still having nightmares. Revenge didn't seem to help at all. Now, at this point, I still don't know who this girl is, what we're about to do, or how we end up getting the drop on Ellie. But the flashback segment where you realize the Dr. Joel killed was her dad, I just went, oh. Her anger and rage in the beginning of the game clicked. So now we walk a mile in the shoes of someone who got their revenge, and it's not going so well. Consequences. Now, you may find me a weirdo, but I like this half of the game. Getting to know new characters and seeing how others are living life in this hellscape adorned with a killer fungus. A rough eat or be eaten world where brutal revenge isn't out of the ordinary.
Getting nostalgic about the truce? Easier days, huh?
Too easy. We let our guard down, and they strung up an entire squad.
That was in retaliation to us shooting those kids.
Okay, but those kids attacked our guys. What would you do?
I don't know, not riddle them with bullets?
I'd rather save our people.
Manny, they're kids. It's not their fault.
Not our fault either. Those deaths are on them.
Okay.
Let's not forget that to them, Joel was probably the worst of the worst. So while we may not like it, Joel had it coming. Consequences. I'm no storyteller, nor am I great at dissecting stories and writing, but I liked it. I actually enjoyed the way the flashbacks brought more context into the story over the course of the game. I tried to think about whether it would have been better if the story were told in linear fashion, but by doing that, it definitely would have had to be rewritten, with maybe even a game or comic taking place in between Part 1 and the events of Part 2 to depict those moments from the flashback. I don't know. I don't write stuff for a living. I'm just thinking out loud. So, this is a game, and the gameplay in this is so much better than the first. Who knew a jump button could be so great? The dodge maneuver is also a great addition, and taking enemies down just using hand-to-hand combat felt great. Having one of those encounters and looking down after the fight is finished and seeing I hadn't lost much, if any, health was a great feeling. I didn't have a problem with the shooting, and resources weren't plentiful, but not scarce either. I shall note I was playing on normal for my first playthrough, and speaking on difficulty, you could adjust quite a few things to cater to how you would like to experience the gameplay. And speaking of adjustments, this game has many accessibility options, the most I've seen. Now, I don't usually pay attention to these as I do not currently need to use any of them, but now that I've seen them, I might look for them more often in other games. I enjoyed the stealth in this game. Going prone made the stealth action more well-rounded, allowing you to hide under objects and in tall grass, with an added benefit of it steadying your shot. I'm trying to think on it right now, and I'm pretty sure I didn't have any major problems with the gameplay. Nothing really annoyed me or caused confusion. There is one point though, where I, not paying attention to my positioning, walked off a tall spot and it auto-saved just after that moment, so every time it reloaded, I fell to my death. I then had to restart the encounter since I didn't have a manual save any closer. I know I haven't said it yet, but this game is stunning to look at and travel through. The devs worked hard. The work that went into this game is present in every corner of a building, every blade of grass, every character action, button press, and cutscene. To reiterate, they worked hard. But why if I go to chapter select and play a bit and back out, let's say I was getting a collectible I missed, for no other chapters to be available past the one I picked, to which I now have to revert to the save I beat the game on just for the rest to show up. I don't know how to code. I know it's difficult. However, could they have treated the chapter select like the encounter select?
I think we're done with this place.
Agreed.
The difference here is, after finishing the game or getting a number of hours into it to have more than one encounter available, if you pick the first encounter, then finish it or back out, the others are still present when I go back to the encounter selection screen. That would have been nice for the chapter select. Long story short, I think the game is good. I think you should give it a try. Maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't. I am glad it exists though.
Good night, kiddo.